All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Texans Unfiltered, a Houston football podcast for your Houston Texans. I am young Ari Golden. I am joined by my friend and co-host John Wade, the Garnet Texan. And John, what an exciting week of football we had this past Sunday. Definitely been the season to remember. Tons of highs throughout the entire season, giving us a lot to look forward to, lots of hope in the future. It seems like every question we needed answered this season has been answered, specifically this Sunday, knowing exactly where we need to be and who's going to be there. And it's been a whirlwind of emotions for me over the last 13 games, and I really just hope that these next 4 games go by really slow. I don't want this season to end. This has been probably one of the most memorable Houston Texans seasons I've seen and witnessed, and just truly excited to be able to say that we're a part of what they're doing on the field, and really excited to break down this game Sunday. As I totally even forgot who they played, the Seahawks.
It's like for a second there, you had me, and I mean, I was so sick. Like honestly, I didn't even watch the first half. Like it wasn't on purpose that I was trying to skip the first half. I was just so sick that I slept through it. I woke up and all of a sudden Twitter was happy. Davis Mills apparently was doing well. Like the game was competitive. And I started watching, of course, the second half, and I'm like, maybe I should just go back to sleep because I didn't bring them any luck whatsoever.
Yeah, I missed the first quarter and a half because I had to go to the airport twice to pick up 2 cars that were being rented out at the time. So it literally was the worst. I wasn't able to see it. So I missed the highs and only was involved in the lows, which is a very, very, it ties very well into the season and what we've experienced in general. So it kind of just went with it. Yeah, I mean, I went back and watched. Davis Mills looked good in the first half. That's probably about it. Brandon Cooks did Brandon Cooks things. Yeah, I don't know. Jonathan Grenard flashed again at certain times. Gruger Hill got hurt. Garrett Wallow looks to be coming along. I'll tell you this: the one thing, and I totally understand, like this, like the just being. It's hard for people to hop in on the franchise and where it's going, and Nick Caserio, and yeah, he had some picks or some trades that didn't work out, and I think a lot of people are down on Nick Caserio right now. But I'll tell you what, for a guy that came in and only had 3rd-round picks and on, he seemed to have drafted pretty damn well.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing you look at, if we could take one positive away, it looks like Nick knows how to draft and evaluate talent.
Maybe. I mean, it looks pretty good so far. I mean, Nico Collins looks like he's beginning to click. I mean, Brevin Jordan is 3rd on the rookie tight end or rookie Texans touchdowns, and he's played half the games. Wallow flashed a little bit. Of course, Roy Lopez has been really good pretty consistently. I mean, right now, the one draft pick that you're kind of like about is still Davis Mills because he was the first one. And I mean, all things considering, like, I mean, I think Davis Mills is going to end up being a pretty good backup. I wouldn't say I'm still not sold on him necessarily being the guy, but I'm also not sold on it. Like he definitely should have played more. And our play calling hasn't done him any favors. But at this point, it's like the one guy that you're kind of questionable about is the quarterback, which is always the hardest one to get right anyways. So I don't quite get this thing with everybody being out on Nick Caserio. Like this was a no-win season. Like there was no way. Like he didn't know if he was going to have a quarterback. He didn't know if he came in and originally started operating like Deshaun was going to be here. And then, everything kind of happened and then they gave up on that. But half the offseason was already done. Now, there's a lot of things that I probably would have done different. But I mean, they had a plan, and whether or not it was the right plan, he's stuck through it for this year, and he's beginning to hint in his conferences. Well, next year they're going to try things a little bit differently. Like next year, I think is this offseason is when they're going to start to get more aggressive about being young, especially since they've kind of just sorted out what they actually have this year.
I think I don't think I can say that anything about Mills, to be honest with you. I can't say he's going to be a backup. I can't say he'll be the starter. I can't say that he's been great. I can't say that he's been consistently good. What the one consistent thing I can say is that the coaching staff as a whole has truly just let down Davis Mills in every possible way that you could let down a rookie quarterback. The run game is atrocious. The run blocking is atrocious. At times, the pass protection is atrocious. Play calling after the first quarter of every game just goes away and is atrocious. I don't know what the tally is so far for screens this year, but it continues to just go up and up and up every week. Yeah, because of the situation, I don't know what you can really say about Mills. I'm not going to be one of those guys that like looks at the stats and be like, okay, threw for 312 yards, like he must be pretty good. No, that really doesn't equate for me. I will say the one game that gave me more hope was the Patriots game. Because of who they were playing, because of that defense, because Bill Belichick has a reputation of not letting rookie quarterbacks do anything. And if you just look and see the rookies that he's played this season, Davis Mills is the only quarterback to really throw the ball all over him. So I would say that, then he had the Buffalo game. So then, I think the Buffalo game was before the Patriots, but either way,
right,
he's had some stinkers in there. So it's just like, I don't know where to go. Like, how can he be consistent when the play calling is so atrocious? And how can he be consistent when he really doesn't? I mean, he literally has zero. Like, there's no support for Davis Mills whatsoever. So I don't know how we could expect anything until we have good play calling and better coaching. And that's not going to happen this season. So,
nope.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know I've seen more good than bad. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean,
considering he's a third round rookie, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that has to be attributed into the conversation, right? We're not talking about a first round pick. We're literally talking about a Hail Mary of a third round rookie. And he has played much better than I think anybody would have anticipated him to play. And his highs have been higher than I would ever have expected them to be.
Yeah. And it goes back to he's doing it with zero support.
Right.
I mean, our best tackle this year was playing guard for most of the season. Titus Howard has now actually played tackle better than any other player, including Tunsil, on the roster this year. However, you kind of take a look at our guard play, even without Howard there, and our guard play is just so atrocious. Like, how can a team be so bad at finding guards that it just leaves you scratching your head? Ultra Tough Scene just nails the next thing I was going to say. The only help that he's had has been Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks has been beyond solid.
Only consistent thing, right?
Yeah.
Like week to week, the only consistent thing he's had is Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. And at least he knows, and if nothing else, I will give Davis Mills credit. He knows how to throw it to Brandon Cooks. He knows how to throw it to his number one receiver, which Tyrod, for whatever reason, when he came back from injury, just could no longer do. Now, Nico has flashed. Brevin Jordan has flashed. We had the one game where, now I'm forgetting his name. The Patriots game. The receiver, practice squad receiver, got moved up from Baltimore. Chris Moore, yeah. Chris Moore he's had a good game, but honestly, our skill players, few and far between, have had good games. And the leading rusher for the Texans this year is still Mark Ingram.
Yep.
So again, it's very, very hard to make any sort of concrete conclusions about Davis Mills, other than the fact that when you watch the tape on him, is he doesn't have a single elite trait, but he does seem to have a bunch of things that are above average. Now, you can do things when you have a bunch of things that are above average, and you can be successful with that. But he doesn't have anything that just absolutely stands out that this kid's got tools to be an elite quarterback. But he really doesn't have anything that just absolutely sinks him at this point. Sometimes he flashes with pocket awareness where it's like, okay, maybe that's his skill. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he flashes with accuracy, and then it goes away. And the thing that he was best at in college was throwing the seam routes, and we don't throw seam routes. We don't even run the route. Like, that's his strongest route from his college tape. The Texans don't even have that in their playbook. So we talk about his lack of weapons and his play calling, but I mean that's another level of it. When you take something that he was really good at college and you don't even integrate it into your plan, like, he's just absolutely been failed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I guess that's kind of why it's like I can't be one of the guys that's he's this, he's that. I honestly I don't think there's enough out there for us to have any opinion. And if the Texans move on from the coaching staff and bring in a new coaching staff and don't take, Pickett or Coral or, whoever else it may be that they're looking at quarterback, I mean, it's pretty clear. There's no reason or way that we're going to take a quarterback at 2 or 3. Okay. Like, I can't see it. So
That's what you would think. I mean, I would never put anything above this coaching staff. And
I'm looking at the GM in general. I'm not worried about the coaching staff.
Or I'm sorry, I wouldn't put anything above the Texans. I still do believe that Matt Corral and Pickett, they're going to start making their way up the board. Yep. And there's a very good chance that they're going to be 1 and 2. People are going to start falling in love with them. I mean, you just see what everybody's saying about Pickett currently. He's the good Johnny Manziel. And then Matt Corral, is it Coral Corral?
I have no idea.
I mean, he's got all the physical talent, and he had a great season. So, yeah, it's very, very likely that those are the 2 guys that are going to end up being 1 and 2. Things may change still. They always do. But do you feel, from the little that you've watched, that either one of them is necessarily better than Mills? Like, that guy's a slam dunk better?
I think I've watched more Kenny Pickett than I have Coral. I like Pickett a lot. I think his ceiling's pretty high. But at the end of the day, I don't have any faith that if this coaching staff is here, it matters who's at quarterback. So my judgment is somewhat clouded because if it's Coley and Kelly and Pep and everybody else, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Honestly, if Deshaun Watson was at quarterback, people say, oh, the season would be different. I don't know if it would be.
I mean, if Deshaun's at quarterback, we're a bottom tier playoff team.
Oh no!
If he's able to do
play calling,
if he's able to do what he did last year,
we were 4-12.
Yeah, but him put up the same sort of numbers he did. Essentially, somehow convinced Tim Kelly to abandon the running game. Then, yeah, we're bottom tier. I still think that with Deshaun, because with Deshaun, first off, I almost hate saying this with everything considering, but watching Tim Kelly's play calling this year, Deshaun's a better quarterback than we realize. It does really suck. Like, it really does suck. Just an absolute tragedy. One of his own making, but it's an absolute tragedy. Like, he is in my mind, my appreciation for his skill as a quarterback has actually gone up because our play calling with Tim Kelly without him is so bad.
I mean, Tim Kelly is Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. But Tim Kelly's like he's the recycled, watered down version of Bill O'Brien. Because Bill O'Brien could even flash moments of being like getting in rhythm as a play caller. Tim Kelly doesn't have that at all. Now, honestly, absolutely believe it. With Deshaun, we are a bottom tier playoff team, but it's that same sort of like meh feeling that you would have watching the Texans. Like, would probably have a couple of exciting wins, like skin of our teeth type things. This defense is playing way over their head, especially when they're getting turnovers. Like they're really good. When they're not getting turnovers, they fall back to earth. So it's one of those where, yeah, a competent quarterback would have changed the season, but it's not enough to drastically change it where we are all of a sudden going to be a AFC championship caliber team. Now, saying that, I don't think Corral or Pickett is that level of quarterback either. And honestly, I think that the point you were trying to make is the rest of the team needs to be built up before they even really start worrying about a quarterback. I actually think that's the way to go. Just let Davis Mills be almost the stopgap quarterback, build up the talent around him. Because this draft, we should have quite a few picks. Next year, better quarterback class. You'll probably end up with 2.5 years of Davis Mills starting, like 1 year next year where there's just not another quarterback on the roster. The year after that, whatever rookie quarterback they get will probably have to sit. They'll probably sit them because, of course, they would. But that would also give time for talent that they brought in to hopefully mature. Because right now, there's just not a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when we just look at all of this as a whole, there's nothing outside of the draft next year to really look forward to if the coaching staff is still here. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's
No.
nothing.
You're not wrong. I mean, the only hope of having the draft or looking forward for the draft next year is we'll have hope to watch those guys develop. We'll have rookie players that we're excited to see how they turn out. We'll hopefully have at least a couple of first round picks that we'll be like, okay, let's see what we have here. That's what we'll have next year. We don't really even have that. We don't really have that this year.
Yeah. What is this? This no way home trade leaks? No, dude. What are you doing? How do we like get rid of that? That's awful. Jeez. Um,
I must
we're
have missed it, thankfully.
we're 2 days away, guys. If somehow you saw No Way Home, don't ruin it. Yeah, I think next year when you just look into like the only thing we have positive is the draft, and then yeah, you're gonna want to watch the draft. But at the end of the day, like with this offensive play calling, the scheme, like there's just no reason to ever think that next season's going to be any different than this season. And that's the worst part about this is the fact that this season is just going to be a continuation next season. And if that's the case,
you think Tim Kelly's going to be back next season?
Dude, have you seen are you going to like have you seen the way Coley comes out and talks about Tim Kelly?
There is no way Tim Kelly's here next year. No way.
Yeah, Patrick, I was actually going to get there, but I believe this theory 100%. He said, y'all aren't going to speak on the obvious vanilla, way conservative, weak play calling every one half of a game they play. We're literally tanking every second half by the offensive play calling. Great look at the game, especially the one Mills plays. Pat's game and Seattle game. Both games, Mills was super effective and efficient, one half of each of those games. Then the other half, the play calling was way off, running the ball, etc. Tim was never this bad at play calling when D4 was quarterback. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. If they're trying to hide the tank, they're not doing a very good job. You can't come out and be somewhat efficient and then out of nowhere be just complete dumpster juice.
I mean, regardless of anything, I just can't see them bringing Tim Kelly back next year. Like, he's the one coach that has to go.
Dude, do you think they care what we think?
This
Any of
isn't
the
even
fans think?
this isn't even what. Yeah, they obviously live in their own little bubbles, but I mean, just can they be that oblivious?
It's not oblivious. I think they're just tanking. Because he's right. Like they do come out almost every game and look somewhat efficient. And then after the first quarter, or even in the second quarter of this game, there were some times where it was like, oh, interesting, but they couldn't do it consistently. Then the second half came, and everything just went haywire. Like,
Well, yeah, they don't make any adjustments.
but that's not. But there's no way that they're doing that on purpose, I guess is what I'm saying. They're a coaching staff. They could be the worst coaching staff in the entire world, but they still could make the minor adjustments that are needed. Seahawks were playing cover 3 zone all game, and Mills for the first half was picking them apart in that zone. And then the Seahawks made no adjustments. They still played cover 3 throughout the second half, and all of a sudden Mills wasn't able to pick apart the zone.
Well, they started to blitz him in the second half.
Yeah, sure. But they also started to pick up some of those blitzes towards the end of the second half. And he still was not hitting the open guy in the zone. I don't think it's far-fetched at all to say they're tanking. They're absolutely tanking.
I think that they're tanking based on skill level of their players, but I don't think Tim Kelly would sacrifice his career to purposely lose games.
If that's the objective coming down, I mean, we've all been there where the guy tells you to do something even though you don't want to, and because he's the boss, you got to kind of do it.
I mean,
they're not going to sell on the team. Say, hey, we're tanking the whole season, and we're not even going to try at all in the game because you got guys that are trying to win.
No, I don't think that there's some conspiracy out there like that. They're purposely. It's that they're purposely calling bad plays to lose.
Yeah,
that's a conspiracy.
If they win, what do they gain?
Well, as what Chris Connolly put on it is, for the players, they literally are what they put on tape.
I don't care what any of these players say or any of the coaches say.
So
they're all going to say
that is their value. I think that they're just tanking because of incompetence. Like, I don't think that there's so few jobs in the NFL. There's so few opportunities to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL that you're not going to purposely go out there and call bad plays. He's just not capable of calling better plays.
But yet we see them call better plays. Take the first 6 weeks of the season. His nickname was Tim Jelly.
6 quarters.
6 quarters, sorry. Either way, 6 quarters. You don't go from that and creativity to not being able to do the same thing. Like, you just can't. It's not incompetence. It's a choice. Like, those first 6 weeks, remember, Twitter was on fire. Everybody was talking about Tim Kelly as an offensive coordinator. Everybody.
And other teams made adjustments.
After 6 weeks. 6
quarters.
weeks of tape. Or six quarters. There was enough tape to make adjustments.
Yeah,
no,
that's all it took.
No.
Because a lot of those things that they were talking about, the Texans still continue to do. They just don't do them effectively. Like, they were essentially using one running back they're bringing in 2 running back sets and using one as a blocker. They were running 2-man routes. Like, these weren't things that led to a lot of success consistently.
Go back to the first 6 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
How many times was Tyrod throwing the ball downfield? Quite a bit, right?
That is a good point.
Okay.
They were actually
how many
shots
has he
point.
since?
They don't.
Never. They don't.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay, then. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, they were doing all sorts of different things. There were even plays where it was just like, what? Like, what? Like, there were a couple plays, and I don't remember specifically, but we were like, is this what is this? Some very creative plays, and then out of nowhere, this vanilla shit just comes.
No, I get what you're trying to say. I don't. I think that it's Tim Kelly just not being a capable coach.
Okay, so how about
Like
last year? Last year when it was Tim Kelly as the OC,
that was more Deshaun.
that was all Deshaun.
Yeah,
So we
that was
know
a
that
lot
for a
more
fact.
Deshaun.
So the play calling
How
was
many
Deshaun.
times would there? How many times would a play
calling
break
plays.
down and Deshaun would make
Not last
nothing
year.
out of? Yeah,
Not
even
last
last year. Yeah,
Not as much as you think.
yeah.
It did not happen as much as you think. Tim Kelly was calling plays last year as soon as Bill O'Brien was fired.
Yeah,
And everything changed. The offense looked completely different. Whether
yeah.
the quarterback was the same or
The
not, the
offense looked
offense
better last year when they stopped trying to run the ball. That was it. As soon as they stopped trying to run the ball and they were consistently in negative second and third down situations where they weren't gaining positive yards, because that's all running the ball was a waste.
Same as
That's
this year.
it. Same this year, except this year they don't give up on running the ball. Last year they just gave up and let Deshaun do everything.
No, see that's crazy. Why would they do that? Like, why would they just be like, yeah, Deshaun, just go out there and draw it on your hand. Just draw it on your hand.
No.
And
He wasn't calling the plays.
Okay.
He was just but he was making plays happen. He could buy extra.
So every positive play and every touchdown was Deshaun, not the offensive coordinator in any form or fashion. Out of every single touchdown.
It needed a quarterback at that level. Because yeah, he is calling different types of plays this year, like just an obscene amount of screens. He's trying to do the exact same thing the Patriots are doing, except we don't have the talent level to do it. Like if you look at what the Patriots game plan is versus Tim Kelly's, he's trying to mimic it. We just can't.
So he was able to do it against the number one defense in the NFL against the Patriots, but was not able to do it against the Seahawks, is what you're telling me. That's the incompetence, right?
Yeah, that's the incompetence.
So a defense that is very good at disguising their coverage and scheme, probably better than any team in the NFL, the New England Patriots. He was able to shred them for 300 yards and put up points. But he wasn't incompetent, too incompetent to do that. But he's incompetent enough to not be able to do that against the Seahawks and every other bad team we've played this year. I mean, think about that, John. Like, seriously. Like, you're a very logical person.
Yeah, and logic doesn't say that he's calling bad plays on purpose.
So he just knew how to call the right plays against the best defense in the league, but when it comes to these other ones, he gets really confused and just doesn't understand the game to be able to call plays.
No, it's not about being confused, and it's trying to overreact to things that they're trying to fix. He doesn't seem to think that the offensive line can hold up for more than 2 seconds. Like when you're throwing screen after screen after screen like that, they're trying to take the pressure off the offensive line. Like every time they don't push the ball down the field just as much because it's on the offensive line, just as much as it is with the play calling, because when they do try and push the ball down the field, pressure's there. Like, and they don't actually have enough they don't have enough weapons to actually make it worth it. And they waste so many downs running the ball. Like, I get what y'all are saying.
Which was something that he didn't do last season once Bill O'Brien was fired.
Yeah,
that was the first thing he changed.
The passing versus rushing splits last year on the Texans were his most lopsided towards passing that we've ever had.
And then so that was better for him, and it worked. And he was like, you know what, though? This year, nope, I'm going back to running the ball.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That makes he had the thought to change it because it didn't work. So he did. But now he doesn't understand that it doesn't work, and he doesn't. Does that make sense? You're talking about incompetence. I guess that's why, like, you chose that word. And we're talking about, like you said, a coaching job in the NFL is a rarity.
Yeah.
It's not something that could just happen. So you must not be too incompetent, right?
Right.
So you can make these changes this year as soon as Bill O'Brien gets fired, because you knew that's what was not working. But this year, you can't.
It's more. It is. It is. It's on Tim Kelly because he's the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
But part of it also comes. It seems to also come from Cully, where they are absolutely. They're going to have the running splits. Like that's the same reason that Joe Brady got fired, is they wanted to run the ball more. I don't know.
I actually
It's
disagree.
just
I disagree with this. I actually think the offensive roster this year is better than last year. So Will Fuller got hurt. DeAndre wasn't on the team. You had Brandon Cooks. Remember, we had that white wide receiver that everybody was in love with that came out of nowhere.
Chad Hansen.
Chad Hansen. You still had the same running backs. And this year, you at least have Nico. You have Brevin. I would say Conley's better than the number 2 last year once Fuller went down. I think you have a better offensive roster this year. You just don't have Deshaun.
And I mean, and there's still, regardless of why, the play calling is trash.
Yeah, unless they're tanking, then it makes sense. It makes total sense. I don't see a reason for them to win this week. It's going to be hard for both teams to lose, and they're going to try. they're going to both try. But I don't know, it's going to be like a SpiderMan meme where they point at each other because they both want to lose. Yeah, I don't know. Man, pretty interesting to see what's going on over there with Will Fuller. I wonder if he was a part of the ring, the Deshaun Watson ring.
Well, they sat him for mental reasons.
Yeah.
Not even an injury, just mentally not there. Which, I mean, mental health reasons is legitimate reasons, but it's just interesting. Like, Will Fuller, I mean, it's one thing when he's maybe all the injuries are starting to bug him, but he was very talented, very cerebral. Like he was part of the reason he was such a good fast receiver is he would have been a good receiver even if he wasn't fast, as long as he stayed healthy. Just his way of running routes. So it's just interesting.
Yeah. 61-yard field goal by Kaimi Fairbairn.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a field goal.
The touchdown to Nico was good. I guess that's really about it. I don't really have anything else to talk about this game. I really have nothing else. This season is over.
Yeah.
It's over. There's nothing to look forward to. Yeah. This season is, let's just get through these last, what is it, 3 games, 4 games?
4 games.
Yeah, let's get this shit over with quick. Opening drive was hot.
It's almost like we'll be watching the other teams. Grugier Hill.
Kruger. Yeah, at least it's not as bad as we expected. I thought it was going to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's just a sprain, so that he may potentially even play this weekend, which is kind of crazy because the way he was getting carted off and spending time with Easterby, it's like,
oh, can we talk about that horrible person real quick? I mean, honestly, what a snake. Like a true snake. The fact that he walked over to Kruger Hill while he was hurt to console him and make sure he was okay. Like, dude, honestly, that was probably one of the most sickening things I've ever seen as a human being. Honestly, the testicular fortitude or whatever the word is that Jack Easterby has to think that he can go place his healing hand on Kruger Hill like that and take him into consideration and really, really care about the player as a human is fucking sickening. I never want to see anything like that ever again on the sideline. That was the grossest thing I've ever seen. And
I mean,
and we have a quarterback who has sexual assault allegations. So, I mean, yeah, Jack, I'm not sure what's going on over there with Jack. That was whew, I almost broke my TV.
and
Honestly.
people are legitimately upset about that.
Yeah, I know, because they're freaking idiots. Like, I get it. Like, I totally understand the Easterby saga and the issues and be mad at him. Or honestly, I don't understand being mad at him. I understand being mad at Cal for hiring him. I don't understand being mad at Easterby because every single person in the chat, on Twitter, the world, right, has taken a job that they are not qualified for or will eventually in their life take a job they are not qualified for if they're offered it. And if somebody offered me Jack's spot and I have no football anything except for a podcast for 5 years, I would take that job without hesitation. And you'd see me floating around Houston like I was the greatest thing in the world. And I would give a fuck what anybody thought about me. Because as a man and a husband and a father, my goal is to take care of my family. And if somebody offers me $5 million a year to do such thing, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that job. So I guess I just don't understand the hate Easterby gets. I feel like it all should go to Cal for hiring him in the first place.
No, I mean, if you're going to be mad at anybody, being mad at Cal.
100%.
Definitely agree. The Easterby situation it's awkward. It's definitely awkward. But at the same time, it's not unprecedented. And that's one of the things about Easterby is like they show all those videos, and part of me is just like he's just the normal preacher that, like that's how they all sound. Like, do I like Easterby? No. But Cal's the one that hired him. Cal's the one that determined that he had worth. And I guess it's just because we can't get rid of Cal, so we're hoping that he'll get rid of Easterby.
So weird. It's such a weird dynamic.
I mean, it's just tough because it legitimately sometimes feels like us as fans care more about the team than the people that own it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Hey, but at least we're not the Jags and have Urban Meyer as our head coach, right? I'll take Coley over Urban Meyer, it sounds like.
We knew that was going to be a disaster, and I'm glad it's been even worse than everybody predicted.
Yeah, it's going exactly how I expected.
Oh, to sit up there and be like, "You're not a winner," and call all of his coaches out like that, like, dude.
Yeah, I just like Urban Meyer is just
I think he's trying to get fired.
Maybe. Well, he's not getting the USC job, so I'm sure he'll get a job. But some people are just meant to coach kids and young adults, young adults, and then there are some who are meant to coach men. Urban Meyer is not a guy that's meant to coach men. He treats it exactly like he treated everything in college, and you just can't. These guys have families. Like they're making a shit ton of money. Their priorities are totally different. Like their personalities, who they are as a person, as they've grown from college. Like you might be able to get away with some of that with the rookies, but the rest of those guys in the locker room are just going to look at you and laugh. And that's literally what they're doing, which is fucking crazy and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I'm absolutely here for the Jaguars continuing to be a disaster.
Yeah.
However, it's one of those. It's like we want them to get. Didn't we just decide we wanted them to get their shit together for one weekend?
I don't know who can, like, honestly, like who's going to shit the bed the most? Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, you have a more talented quarterback in Lawrence, right? So you would think that Lawrence has the edge, but he's been pure shit this year,
He has.
which I
They
expected.
are they are not developing him. Like
No,
he really is as good as a prospect as you could have, but you still have to develop a prospect. Just because you're a good prospect doesn't mean you're a good quarterback.
100%.
And wow, I'm all here for them ruining him as a quarterback, and he never turns into a good quarterback. Like I'm all about that. But this year, especially, it's been tough. Like people try and say, "Hey, well, look at what Peyton Manning did. He threw all these interceptions." Yeah, well, Peyton Manning, you also had the stats around him, like depth of target, how many touchdowns he threw.
Well, you also have the
That
plays where you're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's that's right. That's why." Okay, yep, makes total sense. I'll
yeah,
live with the interceptions because he's going to clean that up.
yeah. Where Trevor Lawrence, I mean, it's been painful to watch him.
He got crowned way too early, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Way too early.
yeah.
I think I've been pretty on point with that from the beginning before he was even drafted. I've never thought he was going to be a top tier NFL quarterback. Joe Burrow definitely has more upside than Trevor Lawrence, but I'm a Burrow fan. So look at that, Patty's in the little Patty. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder who wins this week. I'm going to give it
I
to the Jags. Well, actually, I'm going to give it to the Texans. I think they're going to accidentally win.
You think accidentally gonna win?
Yeah, I think the Jaguars are just that much of a fucking mess that the Texans are going to accidentally win.
Yeah, I mean, their players seem to be actively trying to get their coach fired. I mean, I wish ours would as well, but definitely with the Jaguars, it seems like their players want the coach gone.
Yeah, yeah, almost 100%. I feel like their coaching staff wants their head coach gone, and that means that the coaching staff is going to be gone too. But they don't give a shit. They're like, "Get me out of here! I don't
You know,
care."
after just getting publicly humiliated by him, like
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. All right, that's really about it. Hey, we got 2 days till No Way Home. Are you going to see it Thursday? Right? You
I
got
am
tickets? Yeah, yeah.
7:55.
7:55. I'm going at 4:30. Super excited. I've tried to steer clear of whatever I can. I did see the Jimmy Kimmel extended trailer. Um, I'm excited. Okay, so let's give predictions. So that way we can come back next week and talk about it because let's talk about No Way Home and what our expectations are. So who dies? Somebody's gonna die. Is it Happy? Is it Aunt May? Or is it MJ?
I don't even know, to tell you
You
the
have to
truth.
guess. Okay, can we make
If
this?
I'm guessing,
Can
it's
we?
gonna be Happy just because he's been around for so long.
You can't kill John Favreau off. He just lost Iron Man. It's Aunt
You
May.
know,
It's Aunt May.
Aunt May, really? Okay.
Aunt May. Aunt May. Aunt May dies. Yeah.
Well, there's gonna be 3 more movies. You got to remember that.
Yep.
They signed him
But
up for essentially another trilogy.
you got to. He's got to turn into adulthood now. He's going to college. Like he can't just be a kid. There's no way it's MJ because Zendaya's a star. They're not going to write her off.
But that's
She's
like
a big
that's
part.
the big thing that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man was the original one, and I mean they tried to do it in Amazing Spider-Man.
They did a great job in Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
in my opinion, with Gwen Stacy.
But there's no Gwen Stacy in this universe. It's all MJ.
Preach.
Like so it would make sense for her to die because it just matches that character, that that arc, I guess. Or she forgets who he is, maybe. Like there's got to be a reset there.
It can't. It can't be Zendaya, dude. It can't. There's just no way. Not yet. Their chemistry really just started last movie, if you think about it.
Yeah, no.
The first movie, there wasn't much. She was kind of just a character, right? And then second movie, she plays a pretty big part. Now there are a couple. I just can't see them doing that yet. It's Zendaya, bro. Like she has such a tie to Disney as well. Like that's where she came up.
It's
I can't.
It's strangely, it's one of those where I think she was almost. I hate to say miscast because she's done a great job as
Oh
MJ.
my god, yes.
But she is absolutely a star. She does steal every scene that she's in.
Every
Like,
scene, and
she
she's
should
gorgeous.
she should almost have she should have been something where she could be more featured. And I think you're right. I don't think that that's not my gut. My gut doesn't say that they kill her because you keep her around somehow. But if you just go typical story arc with Spider-Man, his love interest dies. Like that's what brings him into adulthood.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep Aunt May around. She's got to marry Doc Ock, and they just introduced Doc Ock. Like that's the thing. Like Doc Octopus, May gets married. Like
I know.
Disney, the Marvel universe could actually pull that off, and make it seem pretty cool. But I honestly even watching the trailers, I have no idea what to expect with this movie. It's just absolutely bonkers.
Does Venom make an appearance?
Maybe in one of the
end credits.
One of the stingers.
So, did you see Venom 2 yet?
Yes.
Okay, so he made it into there with the end credits. I don't know if they would waste another post-credit scene on him, unless they introduce Sinister Six and he's a part of that. That's the only way I can see them tying in Venom.
I don't know. It's strange because Venom and Spider-Man are so intertwined.
Right.
Are supposed to be so intertwined. But actually, this version of Venom works without Spider-Man.
100%.
So
they're not great movies, but they're good movies.
They're entertaining. They work.
Yeah. I'll watch them if they come on.
Yeah.
Deadpool shows up, I'm flipping out.
Yeah.
Hands down, I am flipping out. Deadpool might be my favorite MCU character. So if Ryan Reynolds shows up as Deadpool, I'm going to get pregnant by Ryan Reynolds looking at me. 2, I'm going to be extremely excited that Deadpool and Spider-Man are even conversating at that point. That would be awesome, but I don't think Deadpool shows up.
Well, is Daredevil showing up?
Yeah, Charlie Cox is in this.
Charlie Cox has been confirmed as being cast as Daredevil.
No, he's in the trailer.
So he is in the trailer?
Yeah, he's in the trailer for one scene at the police station.
Okay. Is Kingpin going to be in it?
So I don't know. I'm starting to connect the dots, but I'm assuming the Rolex and Hawkeye is the Kingpins. And tomorrow a new Kingpin or a new Hawkeye comes out, which is the day before Spider-Man comes out. So I think that they might introduce Kingpin tomorrow on Hawkeye.
Yeah. I think that tomorrow's episode of Hawkeye is actually important to watch before you go see Spider-Man.
I would agree.
Not a necessity, but just one of those things that'll help with the universe building.
Yeah, Darian, I was saying Charlie Cox. That's the name of the actor that plays Matt Murdock. But I think that'd be crazy. Kingpin to me has to be introduced into a Spider-Man movie. He has to be part of it because I think Kingpin and Spider-Man. 1, it hasn't been done yet, and 2, with their stories just in the comics they're intertwined for almost all of the comics. And he was such a great Kingpin in the Daredevil series.
Yeah.
The Daredevil series as a whole was just great. I'm so glad that they're going to do that again. But I don't know. Does Ned turn into Hobgoblin?
Really?
Does he? I'm asking.
Why would Ned turn into Hobgoblin?
Did you see he shaved his head?
No.
Well, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he shaved his head.
Huh. I need to pay more attention to these trailers.
Yeah.
But still, maybe because
Hobgoblin hasn't been in it at all. ever in any of them.
And there's no Harry Osborn.
And there's no Harry. And Green Goblin's showing up in this one, right? So
yeah.
Darian says that Ned does turn into Hobgoblin. He hasn't seen it yet. He's guessing.
He's just guessing.
Yeah, he's just
guessing. I mean, those are the type of story beats that you need for Spider-Man. But it'll seem like it'll be just, that would be such a reach. But again, with this movie and just all the craziness that's going to happen, maybe.
People are crying at their premiere.
Yeah, I read that. Like, I've read one paragraph and then I decided I'm not going to read the review. Like, I don't even want to know if it's good or bad. Yeah. But the one paragraph pretty much said that, yeah.
It's killing all of, like, I think it has a 100% score on Rotten Tomato, which is just unheard of.
Wow. I'm definitely ready for Thursday.
Dude, me too. I'm so excited. It's going to be an amazing movie. It just has to be. And it just, what a way to kick off, like with Doctor Strange, Madness of the Multiverse coming in April and just everything else. Oh, yeah. Hey, let's talk about that. That's kind of weird. Thank you, Joseph. Hop is weird as fuck for wanting to be naked with his uncle.
Yeah, dude.
This is just another scenario where Bill O'Brien was right yet again.
I mean,
yeah, like honestly, I think we're gonna be able to write a book at some point and be like, "Wow, Bill O'Brien." We're just gonna call it "Bill O'Brien was right."
Yeah, I mean, the rumor was part of the reason that Hop was moved on from with the Texans. I mean, everybody remembers the baby mama comment, but it was his lifestyle, I guess. They were afraid was going to influence Deshaun.
Yep.
Well, after hearing that rumor and then seeing those legitimate texts.
Yep.
Wow.
Some nasty boys on this Texans teams.
Dude. And that, I mean, did you see all the messages that she had?
Oh, yeah.
Not just from I read them all. Pages.
That was like the one time I read Total Sports Online or BSO, whatever that is. Robert, whatever, the Black Sports Online, I think is what it's called. Robert Littal. He only does like TMZ worthy stuff on it. John, did you freeze? I think you did freeze. Oh, okay. Damn, you did a really good job of not moving at all. My God, that was scary as shit. Yeah, he does like TMZ stories for sports. But yeah, I read that whole thing. I was like, yo, that's wild. Very Earl Thomas-esque.
I don't know why. I don't know.
I have no idea. Next thing you know, we're going to find out JJ was doing something.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate,
would anybody be surprised?
Honestly, I wouldn't, but there hasn't been any stories about JJ.
Like we're going to find out like JJ likes to get like rammed by women.
I mean,
would you? I mean, honestly, at this point, like nothing would surprise me.
It wouldn't shock me, and whatever people want to do, it's just the reason that I found the Hopkins. The reason that I found the Hopkins was just like because of all the smoke around all the other stories about why he was moved on.
Yeah.
So that's why it was intriguing to me. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I don't get it, but whatever. But dude, at this point, nothing would surprise me. I mean, there used to be rumors that JJ. Never mind. I'm not even going there.
No, what was it? No, go there.
No,
you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I am. I'm just stopping.
That JJ liked men?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still believe that. I still 100% believe that. And that would be like the greatest. Like, I hope he comes out at Canton, like while he's like getting his coat, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love dudes." It'd be like the most awesome Hall of Fame announcement ever. JJ comes out.
Would that change your opinion on him?
No,
you're not a big JJ guy.
I'm not. I mean, I'd probably make fun of him for doing that. I'd be like, yo, what a bitch to go your entire life and like you couldn't even own it early on. Like what a bitch.
Still gonna say he's a little extra doing that.
Yeah, exactly. He did it for attention again. It's like let everybody talk about JJ Watt some more. Now we're gonna talk about his career as the best homosexual football player in the history of the NFL. Like, yeah, I don't know. My uncle has always thought from the moment he was drafted that was the case. I mean, I know he's married, but that happens.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever makes you happy.
yeah, 100%. What about Hawkeye? You caught up?
Yeah, dude, that's
Like
such a good show.
it really is. It really
Like,
is.
I'm surprised at how good it is.
I am too.
I mean,
It's better than
a
Captain. It's better than Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yeah, I think so. I know it's a little bit more straightforward, but it's actually really good. I'm surprised that at the chemistry the two Hawkeyes have.
Yeah.
I'm just actually I thought Hawkeye as a character was kind of boring, and no, like he's seems really grounded. There's like enough there that it's like what's going on. I'm actually reading the Hawkeye comic books to my son now for his bedtime stories because he loves Hawkeye.
Oh, that's cool.
Granted, forewarning for anybody wanting to do that, like those comics are actually probably PG-13. Like it's a little bit more over the top than I expected, so I have to like skip a bunch of pages. So I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's actually a really good comic that they've based it off. And there's more questions I now have about the show that I don't know how much of like the comic version of Hawkeye, but they have so many like Easter eggs like in the show that I wasn't aware of until I started reading it. And then I also think it's cool that it's actually like Ultra Tough Scene. He points out how they show him as a guy, just like how beat up he gets, like how lost his hearing. He's got like wine packs strapped all over himself. Like, dude, it's an awesome show.
Yeah, it's a really good show. What about the fact that I don't know if they actually moved on from her yet, but Shuri from Black Panther, I think Marvel moved on from her because she was
Pretty
so
sure she just got fired.
Yeah, because she was anti-vax, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she didn't like the vaccine
wouldn't be
mandate.
allowed. She wouldn't be allowed on set without getting vaccinated. And part of it was with the traveling. And since she couldn't be on set, like she literally fumbled the bag. Like her character in the comic book actually becomes Black Panther.
Yeah, I know.
Like she had that in front of her. Like she was going to be Black Panther.
Well, I don't think she was
that's
going
what they're
to. No, so from what I've read, and it came out like 2 weeks ago that what's her name is pregnant with T'Challa's kid, and that they're going to introduce him in Black Panther 2.
What? Wait,
yeah.
who?
His girlfriend in the movie.
Yeah.
She's pregnant with T'Challa's child.
Huh.
And he's going to be the Black Panther.
Okay.
There's also stuff going around
that
Michael B. Jordan might come back as Killmonger now that the multiverse is open.
Yeah.
And actually take that.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Killmonger's a really great character.
He should have never died. That was too soon in Black Panther. There's so many things he could have done in the MCU. So I don't see how he dies. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy because now that once everything's open, like there's literally just like infinite possibilities of what they can actually do with these movies moving forward. It literally opens up everything. Anything you thought wasn't possible is now possible. So I'm sure next week after we accidentally beat the Jags, we'll talk probably more about what's this? Grace Rudolph reported that a major villain was secretly cast in the MCU recently. My bet is either Magneto or Doom. I believe it is Magneto. if I remember, and I believe it is the Magneto from First Class, who was a fantastic. I thought he was
Really?
a fantastic Magneto.
Fassbender.
I don't know his
Michael
name.
Fassbender, is that his name?
He's a great actor.
Yeah, like dude, he Magneto was the best part about those movies. Like he did a really, really good job with him.
100%.
I don't know.
Those I like those movies.
I mean,
The
some of
last
them.
one sucked, but
Yeah, some of them were really good. Days of Future Past was really, really good. First Class was really good. The Logan movie, one of my favorite
fantastic.
one of my favorite superhero movies, bar none.
Fantastic.
So
So supposedly he comes back.
they're gonna have Hugh Jackman come back.
Supposedly.
I mean, I wouldn't. Again, you're right. Anything they want to do, they can. I'm interested because I thought they were going to go like younger, but that would be something. Chris Evans comes back,
So they
plays Johnny
casted.
Storm.
So supposedly they casted Fantastic Four. I did see that, and it's a pretty cool casting. Rumored Fantastic Four cast. I believe. Yeah. No. Where's it at? Oh man, it was recent. Seth Rogen plays the Thing. I know that. Yeah, okay. So Ben Grimm is played by Seth Rogen. Kirsten Bell is playing Sue Storm. Chase Stokes, I have no idea who is Johnny Storm. And then Glenn Howerton is Reed Richards. I don't know any of those people other than Kirsten Bell and Seth Rogen.
Okay. We'll see.
Seth Rogen as the Thing is awesome. I think that's a perfect casting if that does happen. Because he's got the dry humor that would go extremely well with being the Thing.
That's Fantastic Four is one of those properties that I actually know very little about. Like I can't even remember the movies.
Oh, really? I just watched them.
And I will say this: Marvel usually nails their casting.
Yeah, I can't. I think we've had this conversation before, but I can't think of one movie where I said to myself, "That's the wrong person to play that character."
Even when you sometimes feel that way a little bit, they always make it up.
The only one I don't like is Selma Hayek in The Eternals. That's it.
I had no problem with that.
I just didn't think she was very good. But yeah,
I mean,
Doom would be great though. Doom or Magneto, either way.
yeah.
Magneto would be awesome. No shit, you're probably right. Dom Toretto shows up and it's about family. That's right.
You know, just bust on through a portal.
All right. Well, with that being said, we gave you guys the normal 20 to 30 minutes of MCU talk that we've been giving you guys recently. We recapped.
Might even be more next week.
Oh no! I honestly, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll probably go see Spider-Man: No Way Home again Tuesday, just so it can be fresh in my head, because I'm so excited about this movie, and we're playing the damn Jaguars. We got to give you something.
Just watch the movie again instead of going to the game.
Yeah, no, right, 100%. I think we were thinking about going to a drive-in to see it again.
No kidding. Is there even a drive-in nearby?
Yeah, there's Starlight.
Huh.
Yeah. But anyway, so we gave you a breakdown of this this amazing game against the Seattle Seahawks and blah blah blah. We fought over Davis Mills and how John thinks that Tim Kelly's just incompetent in every manner, and I think that they're tanking. And that's about it. So with that being said, I hope all of you enjoy No Way Home weekend. Enjoy Tom Holland and everybody else in this movie. It should be fantastic. And I hope you guys enjoy the time with your family that you get to go see this with. And with that being said, I am Young Ari Gold signing off for Texans Unfiltered. I will catch you guys next week along with John.